The Seattle Sounders returned to practice today after a shaky but fruitful 3-2 win over Sporting Kansas City, and now they have to prepare for a span of 2 games in 4 days.
This is a good goal. There are a lot of things that stand out. They're a good team. Chris, started off, it was a little rough maybe for him, but he's figured things out. He's done a good job. Chris Little is there. He's been a big help. What else? They're a good team.
Looking back at the Kansas City game, what stood out, or anything stand out about Andrew Thomas's performance in goal?
Steady. What were the expectations for his first, game in a long time? He hit all those expectations. Didn't make any critical errors. The one ball, there's a corner kick. Jackson cleared it out. A second action, he came out, held it clean about 8-10 yards. There was a pile of people in front of him. He was able to accomplish that. That's a technical part of it. Some of his decision making on the ball were good. Look, he kicked a few longer passes from goal kicks. That's his decision. I let Steph and Andrew, they feel the momentum swings in games. Sometimes we play more direct, other times he puts it down and we play. So those are the things he'll continue to get better at when he gets a few more games.
Any update on Steph? Any update on Steph?
He's in the building, but he's still ways out. 2 guys came on and made a good impact. You credit them first. Was it a little humid? Yes. Did we take our foot off the gas a little bit? Yes. Even having said that, there were chances in that game to put us at 4. One before they scored and then one after. We could have made it 4, made it easier.
Brian, going back to Alex Rodin.
After him, though, because was that your question?
Yeah, no, I did. What did you
going
make
back
that?
To Alex, what do you mean?
Because we had the discussion post game, you take a look at it. So going back with Alex Rodin, when you tucked him in, was it because of the team you were playing, or was it because of something,
just the way the game
a skill set
unfolded
that he now has?
Well, he's always had that. We've always rotated guys in. The right side of guys always highest and widest, unless there's a winger out there, because remember we played Georgie out there in preseason, Pedro out there, makes things look a little different. It's just the flow of the game, and Jesus and Alex are smart players. They just figured it out.
Does that take away from his long passes? Are you not looking for him to make the long passes in there on
Alex?
the wide? Yeah.
He can make long passes anywhere on the field. There's no restriction or, better position. He can come in as a pivot and still hit a long ball to Paul on the left side. He can still do that. I'm aware of, and not that I would probably say in front of a camera if I did know something, but there's nothing there. He hasn't had a great year, so to speak. We've talked about certain things. There was, some mistakes that all guys make. That own goal at RSL early in the year. I think his performance against Vancouver wasn't up to his standard. We talked about that. We had a good conversation about that. He's actually the 4th longest tenured player in the club. Steph, Jordan, Christian, and we've talked about leadership. We've talked about him keeping because we love his smiling face and some of his goofiness and his clearances and his ability to run by people in a dramatic fashion. But I also need him to mature a little bit. And this latest incident was he didn't show signs of maturity.
Head coach Brecky. Rewinding the film, what did you like in Sporting Kansas City to win?
A lot of things. Most of all, 3 points, 3 goals, fluidity in our attack, more so in the first half, a little bit less in the second half, but that's understandable because the opponent, I'm sure, regroup at halftime. They got a couple of points from the coach, and they came out with a little bit more aggressiveness than in the first half. But he said, well, we could have scored another couple of goals in the second half and closed the game. But sometimes the game goes in that type of direction, and on the end we dealt with it, and then we're happy with 3 points.
And with that, you take the 3 points. You've got a game on Wednesday and Saturday. How do you manage that and play a rotation and looking to win both games?
Important games, both, but we cannot look for Saturday game. The first one is always the most important one. Colorado is coming off of a 3-0 victory over a quality team like Vancouver, so I'm sure they're full of confidence. They'll come here, they'll give us a fight, and we should be ready for that. We know what's their mentality. If we match their mentality, football at some point will take over, and we'll have a good chance of being successful.
Brian talks about home team. You guys want to start out early. How important is that to be on the front foot and maybe try to nick one early?
It's always good. I mean, that's what we preach all the time. It's so important how you start the game and how you close the game, how you close the halves. And that's one thing that as of late we've been much better. I think we're starting the games on the right foot. We're influencing the game in a way that we want to, and as you can see, a couple of good results.
Okay, so there you go. You heard from Brian Smetzer and also assistant head coach Preki. So if the Sounders are going to continue their winning ways, they will need to make good decisions on defense and also have an awareness of what's happening on the field in terms of whether you're on offense or on defense, and that awareness can keep you from making silly mistakes. That is yellow cards, fouls that you don't need to make inside your own box. But interesting enough, you also need to be aware when you are on the attacking front end, and something the Sounders did well in the first half against Sporting KC. They were clinical. They played expensive football. Paul Rothbard played well, and also Alex Rodin. You saw that. Now, who will start up there, Jordan Morris will. But first up for the Sounders on Wednesdays at Colorado Rapids, a team that is skillful and bolsters the front line that is skillful, quick, big, and also is looking to get behind the Sounders. So if the Sounders start to continue to win, they just have to play really smart football and start out on the front end on Wednesday against the Colorado Rapids. From Renton, I'm Osvita Maria for the CascadiaSports.net report. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.